One of the most fascinating lines for me is line 5 in Human Design Profile. And maybe it is because I'm kind of surrounded by line 5. Everybody in my family is a 3-5. So I am the one who is observing line 5 in their behavior so much more than they consciously even understand themselves. And this is really fascinating because line 5 is called the line that is like a cosmic mirror. So what does this mean? I'm a 1-3, and I want to get down to the bottom of understanding the essence of what it actually means. I get this thing when I get stuck on words, and I really need to go and look at the definition and really research and see where there is this fluff that everybody's saying, but actually it doesn't make full sense. Not that it doesn't make sense at all, of course it does, but what does it actually mean? So for example, when I was researching about line 5 is like a cosmic mirror. What does it mean? Line 5 lives in the projection field. What does this mean? What does projection field actually means? English is not my first language, and maybe that's good, because even though I speak English at the native proficiency, as you see, there's some words that sometimes, and I'm sure that it's the same in my own language, there's some words that I kind of know what they are. I understand generally what they are, and I use them in my own, expression. However, if I really need to think about what this word means specifically, I actually will be puzzled. So I don't even think that this is because English is my second language, but the word projection, and especially the projection field, was kind of a little blurry for me. And so this is a quick video to share with you. And there is a link to the article that I wrote. Again, it's all my personal insights about this projection field and how it works. And also, if you're one of those lines who are projected lines, right, they're line 2 or line 5, how does this affect you? And of course, my ultimate question is, how does this affect the way we're showing up in our marketing, in our branding, in our positioning? And it becomes so interesting. However, today we're just going to talk about this whole thing about the projection field. So how often, let me ask you this question, how often do you find yourself projecting? Like projecting on others, right? So what are the projections? Let's just look at the kind of, what they are in psychology. There are absolutely, projections can be positive. In fact, you can even train yourself to have positive projections. So what is a positive projection? It's when you are genuinely fascinated by someone, genuinely, like they're literally the next best thing since sliced bread for you at that moment. That's how much excitement you have about them. I have observed this. My husband is a 3-5. He's also a music producer, and he's an amazing educator and mentor. And I've seen that in action, this whole thing about his students projecting this amazing positive vibe onto him, so they wouldn't want him to go home. I had to wait for him for hours, to finish the working day, because the students would just hang around and talk to him. And he was, of course, happy to oblige. But this is something that can happen. Now, with line 5, if you have a line 5 in your profile, so either it's conscious 5-1, 5-2, or maybe it's a subconscious, so 2-5, 3-5. If you have line 5 in your profile, you are very likely for strangers to project positively on you when they meet you. Of course, it's not a 100%, and there will be people who immediately, they're not your people, so immediately they will not feel that. But people who meet you and they are your people, their projection is very, very likely to be positive. But still, what is a projection? The projection is something that is within us, that another person triggers. So it can be positive, and then it's this vibe, and this is what line 5 has, this aura of savior. When you see that this is someone who can give you solutions, this is someone who has the answers, this is someone who can give you hope, right? And it's not about the bigger vision, it's about what to do now. And that's what line 5 is so brilliant at, right? Giving these solutions, fixing stuff, right? What's broken right now, they have these practical solutions. That's their big power. And we project this hope, so what's interesting here is that, and this is what cosmic mirror is that the person who is projecting at someone else, they don't see that person, they only see what they expect of them. And that's what makes it very complex. Now, I have to say that human design is brilliant, because the more I work with, especially I'm doing the marketing blueprints by design, and the more I work with individual designs, the more I see how absolutely perfect each design is. And we all are here to learn a lesson. When you're learning a lesson, it's not all rosy. We want life to be completely easy and rosy and have no struggle. And yet we're here to learn something. This is what lifetime, of experiences does. We're discovering what works, what doesn't work. We're discovering our own value. We're discovering our own identity. Depends on, everybody has their own theme. And especially with the incarnation cross, everybody is here to live through a certain, lesson, certain theme. Some people can have this theme about being too busy, and their whole experience in their whole life is to retreat from the busyness and learn to relax and wait, right? So everyone has these lessons. And when you have a line 5 and what it brings with you, these projections, that can make you very vulnerable. And this is one of the things that I'm sure that if you are like me and you're researching a lot, especially if you're 5-1, right, and you have that one line, you will read a lot about this and you will resonate, because the thing about line 5 is that they tend to fix things, fixing, and they come up with practical solutions, but they could be so against the grain. And that's where sometimes, or they can just not meet the expectations, because I meet you and you are line 5. And all of a sudden, I am so fascinated with you. Like, I adore you. I admire you. And take it from me, right? That's how I feel about a lot of 5-1s when I meet them. I am just so in awe about them. They're like wonderful people. Most of them are. It's without me, projecting this at them. And there's always some sort of projection. For example, my brother-in-law is 5-1. And when my sister met him, before I physically met him, I already had so many projections as he is the right person for her. He is the destiny for her. It's so weird. I was so emotionally attached to this whole scenario that she met this guy, and I was kept projecting these things for him. He came in and saved her. She was so unlucky with partners before, so this is kind of fascinating angle, and those are positive projections. But then as I got to know him, and he said something that was very against the grain, and especially that I saw that he actually doesn't see me, he doesn't get me or my business or anything like that, there was this switch. And the switch is very tricky, because it goes from this absolute admiration to, and there is resentment. And ever since, I've been only projecting resentment, not talking to my sister. I don't do these kind of things. But inside me, I can avoid meeting him and things like that. And I know this is that negative projection. And I just don't want to contribute into vocalizing it. Although I do talk maybe about my family, with my family about this. But this is a good example of the projection, right, field, where I don't even know that person. I really don't. But there's something that prevents me to really understand him and his essence. What's interesting here is that I'm a 1-3. 1-3, the specifics of the 1-3 profile is that I read this just recently, and it blew my mind, because it says you don't see people in front of you. You see the essence of people in front of you, especially if you're a projector. And this blew my mind, because it's kind of true. It's kind of true, because I'm constantly analyzing everything. And it's true, I just see the essence. But with the line 5, it is, I can't do this. It's not clear to me. I see certain things, but it's like a wall. And because there is this cosmic mirror, I am actually seeing a reflection of my own insecurities, weaknesses, with the negative projections. Some things like, why my brother-in-law, the switch happened, because he questioned the nature of me making money with my business, because I'm doing these videos, and he just doesn't understand attraction marketing. So, and he questioned it in such a way that put me off. Right. And it's so interesting because I meet other people and they might also question certain things about my business, but they don't have line 5 in their profile. And therefore, I don't have these kind of projections on them. So if you're interested, this is just a little small story, but if you're interested, there's a link in the description to this video to my blog article where I go a little bit deeper into it and a little bit touching on line 2 as well, because it's a different projected experience with them. And so I hope that you enjoyed and let me know what you thought. See you later.